Welcome home. I'm Debbie with Vacation Club Loans.
And I'm Katie with Downtown Disney. Just kidding, with Vacation Club Loans.
And today we wanted to talk about the Disney's Grand Californian Resort. We recently just stayed there in one of the brand new renovated villas. It was one of the 2 bedrooms with the most amazing view I've ever seen out of one of the Disney villas.
It was basically
honestly.
this.
Yes.
Like a little to the right, but that's basically what was right outside of our window.
It was absolutely amazing.
Crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
they say in real estate, location, location, location. That gets the gold star.
I get it now.
For location. I
Yeah.
get it. And it's so interesting. So I've always heard that getting a DVC room at the Grand Cal is a little trickier. If you want to stay at Grand Cal, then that should be your home resort. So I've heard this, but
So why
I've
is
never
it-
stayed. So they don't have a huge amount of inventory for the
Oh.
DVC point system,
Oh, okay.
which is a great reason why they built the new Disneyland villas, because I believe, and I'm just going to use round numbers for easy math, but Grand Cal has like 2 million points. And now with the villas, they have another 4 million points added.
Oh,
So
wow,
now
okay.
it's
There's,
twice as many rooms
Yeah.
for the DVC owner. So anyway, it's a little bit tricky. I think they have, and I think it's 84 rooms that are dedicated to DVC, and the rest of them are the hotel versions. So anyway, we were able to get a 2-bedroom. It was just renovated. And it's more of like a refresh. Definitely
Yeah,
check
not
out
like a
the
full
video.
renovation. Yeah.
Definitely check out our room tour. We go through the whole villa. It's like a refresh. So what I mean by that is they updated some of the flooring. They've updated 2 stainless steel appliances.
Added
but-
the Murphy bed
Yep, they
Yep.
added the Murphy bed, which is huge.
and the trundle. So it's like 3 more to sleep on.
Yeah. So they added a couple of features, but a lot of it's the same. And I do understand and empathize, you know, with some of the
with it
some
being
of the complaints.
underwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah, some of
update,
the comments and everything. But it was my first time there, and I just absolutely loved it.
Oh, yeah. The view,
So-
amazing. Weren't we supposed to be there for 2 nights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there for 2 nights. Unfortunately, because of the renovations and availability, we ended up moving over to the villas for our second night. So we only had 1 night at the Grand Cal. But we have so much to talk about
Oh my
at
gosh,
that resort. I love the theme.
Yes. Yeah. It's
the
very,
fireplaces.
It's very
woodsy.
Wilderness Lodge kind of. Like, I don't know I'm not really sure what to expect. I just had Grand Floridian like put in my head, very like golf course type resort. And so walking in there, I was like, whoa. And even when you walk in, before you even go through the door, you're like, wow, this is nice, because the sliding glass door is a mosaic tile door that opens up into the lobby. And so it is so pretty. And of course, the fireplaces.
Yes, they had the
and,
beautiful fireplaces and
gorgeous.
relaxing chair areas to sit down. The fireplace was also on the outside. There was an outdoor area where you could sit down and watch the fireplace. And they had outstanding, I mean, everything was really phenomenal.
Yeah.
But so as far as the room goes, it was huge.
Huge.
It was great.
Yeah.
Of course, like the Disney Deluxe Villas, it had the full kitchen, dining room, washer, dryer, and of course the bedroom. But that actually had 3 bathrooms.
3 bathrooms. Huge win for a group of 5 women. I cannot tell you. Like, it was, because for most of the rotation, that we were in 2 bedrooms, and so there would be 2 people in bedroom 1, 2 people in bedroom 2, and then either me or one other person in the living room. And so I was usually bumming off of one of the other bathrooms, but on the couple of villas that we were in where it had 3 bathrooms, it made things so much easier and so much faster to get out in the morning.
I couldn't believe.
It's 3 full bathrooms, not like a half bath or anything, like full. It had shower, toilet, vanity, everything.
Yes, yes. It was a very, very nice perk to
Really
have that
nice.
extra bathroom.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely just stunning. The view was incredible.
Big
of
win
the park.
for the view. Yeah.
And
It looked right at California Adventure, so you could see the Ferris wheel and the Incredicoaster and everything right outside.
Yep. And you could even watch
And the show.
the show at night. They had the water show, and you could even see that from, if you stood on the balcony to the far right, you could even watch the water show from the privacy of your own balcony.
So we got back to the room a little bit like after you guys had left the room. And for some reason, well, when we first got there, full disclosure, I had been drinking quite a bit. So I get back and I am telling everybody to be quiet because I thought that you were taking a nap. And so they were like yucking it up and I'm like, shh, like Debbie's trying to sleep. Like, you guys need to be quiet. And then finally we were about, like, the show was about to start and I was like, Debbie. And I open the door and no one's in there. And I run out like a sitcom. I'm like, they're gone. And then so we were like, oh, maybe they went and walked around. So we're out on the balcony, him and Han and whatever. And then we hear what is unmistakable. It's Debbie's voice. And we're like, where is it? And there's a viewing balcony, like one floor up.
Yeah.
And she could see us the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was
So
like,
our room was on the 4th floor. And the viewing platform to watch the water show, if you want to, is on the 5th floor. So I was literally standing like right above our room, and they could hear me talking.
Like, Debbie! And then one other thing that happened while we were out there was Lauren, somebody who was with us, was on her phone and completely dropped her phone off the balcony. And we always have these little stories about how great cast members are, and this is just yet another one. One, her OtterBox case dropped 4 floors, phone's completely fine, not a shattered screen, nothing. And 2, a cast member stood right next to it until she could run down and go and grab it. And so all of us were like waiting with bated breath, and she finally trots out and picks it up and yay, and then, walked back in. So,
right. But the cast member babysat the phone.
Yeah, he didn't touch it or anything. He just like stood there and waited for her to come grab it and pick it up. But it was very, very nice of him. I'm sure he was really busy. Yeah, there's always some very specific need that we have. But the room was fantastic. Again, it was 5 of us in there. Murphy bed, I believe. I didn't sleep on that Murphy bed, actually, but it got good reviews.
Yes.
So there's a Murphy bed and the trundle. And I believe the kitchen, you said it was new appliances, right?
The kitchen had new appliances, and they had new flooring in the kitchen. It had like a wood plank floor. Oh, I'm sorry. I had that backwards.
It was like a tile.
The kitchen was the old tile that had not been renovated. The living room had the wood plank floor.
Okay.
That's what had been updated. So it was like a refresh, not a full renovation. So
the bathrooms, I believe, are the same.
The bathrooms
weren't really changed. So us for our first time.
And I think the furniture, for the most part, is the same.
And us for the first time being there was great. And then, but we do understand that some people who have bought there who are waiting for like the full, I mean, if you compare kind of the look from Grand Cal to something like Disneyland Hotel, you can definitely tell that one is older than the other. They're still in great shape and everything was really comfortable. But
they're
we can
also
see how
renovating the
people would think
pool area. They were doing some
yeah,
renovations
scaffolding
on the pool.
everywhere.
Scaffolding was everywhere. And so one of my wonderful experiences at the our wonderful experiences at the Grand Cal is we got a cabana.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, you want to talk about the pool? Let's talk about the pool.
We loved the pool.
Big fan.
The cabanas were phenomenal. That is, if you want to splurge and do the cabana for the day,
and we've never done anything like that.
Highly recommend. You get 2 full lounge chairs. It has there's foliage on the left and right. We do a full tour of the cabana if you want to watch that. There is a private dining room table with 4 chairs in the middle, and then behind that, so it's a very long space. Behind that is the shaded cabana area with a flat screen TV, a refrigerator that comes fully stocked with water, sparkling
and still.
Water and still, and probably one of the biggest fruit trays that I've ever seen.
It had
and
everything
they would
on
come
it.
and bring you more.
Yeah.
And it came with the, cabana attendant, which was phenomenal.
Kevin.
Those guys were
Kevin was great.
Yeah. I mean, they have a menu for the cabanas and obviously drinks they will bring right to you.
And the menu is full food. So we got there at 10 because we had the cabana from 10 to 2. And I think all of the cabanas were booked, but we were the only people that got there right at 10. We're like, if we're here from 10, like, we're doing it. Like, we're not taking our time. Like, we're doing everything. So we got there, and I think the food starts at 11, but drinks start anytime. So
Yes.
we
Yeah.
did learn that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an absolute amazing, and they'll bring you DVDs if you need to take a break, or you have, tired children, or you just want to get out of the sun for a little bit. But of course, you have the pool right there.
Yeah.
So you want to stay in the pool and enjoy that and get some sunshine.
And one thing I didn't realize, because we got mimosas to start, was I had my mimosa in my hand, and it was a nice, like, glass, like a nice, like, champagne flute. And I walked over and sat in the hot tub, and then I was like, oh no, I'm going to get in trouble because I have a glass with me. They're all plastic. They're just heavy duty. I think they're like, maybe not Pyrex, but like they felt really still like nice and substantial, not like a little plastic thing. But you didn't get in trouble when you sat by the pool with it, like, oh, it's going to break in the pool. So that was really nice, a nice touch. I could take the drink that I ordered with me wherever I wandered off to. Yeah.
Now, my favorite thing about Grand Cal, so the activities, I personally didn't do a lot of activities while we were there except for the pool. We had the all day of the cabana, which is phenomenal. But to be able to walk right out the back gate, right into downtown Disney, I mean, it was so phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was great.
And that's something we don't get here in Orlando and I had looked this up because I was really curious. So California, they have 500 acres in California. Here in Orlando, they have 25,000 acres. So there's a lot less space that they have in Anaheim. And so everything is kind of right there. And so from Grand Cal, you can get into California Adventure, but also into downtown Disney, which was probably you and I's favorite part of the whole California stay. And don't shoot me for it, I like downtown Disney better than Disney Springs.
I do too.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
Sorry. All right. Guns away.
So it's interesting. I was talking to one of my customers. I'm financing his DVC resale contract last week, and he was buying Grand Cal.
Oh, cool.
So we were talking about the resort, and I said, I love downtown Disney. It was my absolute favorite. And he was
Obsessed.
like, I love Disney Springs because there's so much more to do and so many more restaurants to choose from. I'm like, I totally get it. I'm like, but for me personally, I like downtown Disney because it wasn't as crowded.
and it was more compact.
Yeah, we got to go to Din
Tai Fung.
Thank you.
10 out of 10. Amazing dumpling place. Really, really good green beans.
I'm still to go.
It's been a while since I've been there, and I still think about it.
Yeah, that's one of those restaurants that you never forget because it's just so good.
Yeah, there's a rumor they might open one in Miami or Jacksonville, and if they do, I will be doing a day trip to either of those cities to
we'll
eat
do
there.
it.
It's happening.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Dessert, I have 2 words for you. Dessert dumplings. Dumplings filled with chocolate, dipped in icing. That's it.
End scene.
Yeah. So good.
It was amazing.
But I like how close everything is. And
But you can actually sit at the restaurants. Like, we were
it's
walking
not,
around.
we're not fighting for our lives out there.
I did hear that they were closed for renovations and they had just reopened downtown Disney. So maybe that's why it wasn't as busy.
Yeah.
Again, we haven't gone there a lot.
Yeah.
But there were several restaurants that you could actually, wait 5 minutes and get a table or stop and get a shade, get a drink or something like that. And it wasn't, a long wait. I really, really appreciated that. And they had the brand new sweet shops that just opened.
That was so fun.
That was so fun to watch them make all the Mickey ear desserts.
Yeah.
I probably gained 20 pounds that day.
Yeah. And so we ate lunch at Din Tai Fung, and then we kind of shopped around in downtown, and we got some merch and stuff, and then we ended up meeting you guys at Naples Ristorante on the outside bar. And that was really fun because, again, it's 5 of us. So usually if you walk up with 5 people in Disney Springs and you want to eat anywhere but Planet Hollywood, you're probably not going to find a table. It's just probably not going to happen. Planet Hollywood you can usually get into because it's 3 stories restaurant, but even then it's just kind of like, I don't know. But the only thing I think we got a reservation for was Din Tai Fung because we knew we had to. But everything else we just kind of walked up.
But there were some people that were walking up to Dim Tai Fung.
Yeah.
And there were some people, and I think they were going to be able to get in. But again, we got there as soon
10
as they
a.m.
opened.
Dumplings
I
at
was
10
like,
a.m.
okay, that's a
So
little
good,
bit of an
though.
early lunch, but I
Worth
was
it.
all in.
Yeah.
No breakfast.
Yeah.
Go hungry.
Yeah.
And so the really cool thing is the Grand Californian, Disneyland Villas, and Pixar Hotel are literally like a block from each other. So it's kind of like this
They're all
trifecta
connected.
of Disney. And then downtown Disney is right there, connected to the Grand Californian. And literally you
And walk right
out
into the parks,
resort
too.
into.
Yeah.
And then the parks are right there. So
nice.
it's just so amazing to have that convenience, right there. And there was plenty of parking because that one night we did
Yeah, we
stay.
were kind of lucky to get good I know that there are some people that end up having to stay, I believe it's called the Toy Story lot. I can't exactly remember. That's a little bit down the street. That's where those people were getting off on that tram. They had to park down the street. But when we went on the day where we just did Downtown Disney, we were able to park in like right next to the
But we
entrance,
were there
which was
early.
nice. Yeah, we did. Once again, yeah, we were there at 9 a.m. Yeah, so, for our 10 a.m. dumplings, so.
Totally worth it.
100%, yeah.
And then you can walk, it's just a short, 5-10 minute walk from the Grand Californian through downtown Disney into the Disneyland park.
Yeah.
So you have.
It's all right there.
Yeah, you have all this right there, and you have all this entertainment, and, there's no need for the boats and shuttles and trams and Skyliners and all that.
I was going to say planes,
Even though
trains,
they're-
automobiles. Yeah.
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 Even though those are also fun, getting to the park is kind of the, start of the adventure when you're in Florida. But I just love that location. I was so impressed.
Yeah, I will say the only time I didn't like not having a bus to drop me off at the front of a resort was at the end of our Disneyland day. So we went to Disneyland, and then Lauren and I were the last two standing because it was about 8 o'clock and there was like no wait for anything. So we're like, we're going to go on all these rides that we haven't been on. And I had never been to Disneyland. So I'm like, just trying to get everything I can. We went on the Snow White ride, which I didn't know existed. Alice in Wonderland did know existed. Like all these little rides. And so then we had to walk back to the resort, which you walk out and then all the way through downtown Disney to get back to the hotel. And the whole time I was like, I wish we had a bus. Oh yeah, and we had to go to Trader Sam's right after. So I'm just like, oh,
Yes.
Where's the bus right now? I'd kill for a monorail right now. But
so the original Trader Sam's is at Disneyland Villas.
Yes, sorry, I keep getting
across the street. Yeah,
but I think Grand Cal has the best location because Disneyland Villas is kind of at the end, and Grand Cal is kind of towards the middle of downtown Disney. So right when you come out, the Sweets place is right there, and you're right in the middle of all of the shops and the bars, and it's
100%.
really, really cool.
It is. It's just the perfect location. I mean,
yeah,
it really
it's really
is.
nice.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was so new. I say new, but it was built in 2001. So for some reason, I thought it was built a lot earlier than that. But
do you think that's because of the wood look that they gave the resort? It kind of gives it an older vibe.
I just assumed that everything in California was older than Orlando. So when I looked it up, and I was like 2001 because it opened with California Adventure. So it opened all together with that. So I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then DVC didn't start till 95 with Old Key West. So it makes sense that there's not as many DVC areas in California because, even though Grand Cal was built after it started, it definitely wasn't as big. Before it was literally just Old Key West. Yeah. That's where you could stay. So it does make sense that it is a little bit more difficult to get rooms over in California. But
not anymore.
Yeah, well, not anymore. Yeah, because we have the tower now. But yeah, the downtown Disney is great. And then you had lunch. Where did you have lunch at Grand Cal? We weren't invited. Where did you have lunch?
I had lunch. It was the
Craftsman Grill and Bar.
Thank you.
GCH.
Yes. That's exactly it. And it's right next to the pool, which was very pretty. We sat outside. The weather was phenomenal in late February. It was a beautiful day. And the food was outstanding. I ended up getting, they had a couple of things. I got a quesadilla.
Ooh.
And it was massive. It was like a pizza folded in half. It was so big. It was amazing. I think it was a steak quesadilla too.
Whoa.
It was so good.
And then we actually, on the day that we were walking around and kind of getting footage of everything, we went into Napa Rose. We weren't able to eat there, but we kind of walked in just to, get shots of it. And Mulan was just there. And so no one was going up to take pictures with her at that time. So the cast member was like, "Do you want to take a picture with Mulan?" And we were like, "Sure, of course we do." Yeah, hello. So that was really fun. But Napa Rose, I think, was all full up with reservations. We weren't able to get in while we were there. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like their
Marquee.
the big, yeah.
Very
But yeah, overall, I went into the gym first thing in the morning. It's full of people, but it had a good amount of stuff. I had to wait for a couple of things, but overall, pretty good gym. No complaints there. I went at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was still full of people. I
Yeah.
was shocked. I was
very
like,
healthy.
"Whoa."
Very healthy
But yeah, I'm like,
Californians.
come on.
But there was a
So-
lot of international travelers.
A lot. Yeah. I saw a lot of people in the gym. There was at least 5 from Australia. So they were from like a bunch of other places. But yeah, even when it's full, still got a pretty good workout. So,
Excellent.
no complaints there. And then the lobby, I actually hung out in the lobby a little bit after the gym because it was just so peaceful. And they were going through and cleaning the piano and like cleaning everything. And I just kind of sat in front of the fireplace for a little bit. And it's usually like mostly like natural lighting in there. And so it was really dim and it's really nice. It reminded me of Wilderness Lodge, which is one of my favorites
Yeah,
here
it's
in
one of
Orlando.